Hey everyone, this is Zach Weiss, and I am joined by Joe Kirk of Grand Seiko. Hi, Joe.
Great to see you, sir. Thank you for having me.
We're clearly in Brooklyn here in our normal studio, as you can tell from the background, but this video will be coming to you from Geneva. I'm getting a little preview here of product, and as a Grand Seiko fan, I am extremely excited. We unfortunately didn't get my initial reaction on camera. I'll do my best to be surprised again. Joe, what do we have here?
So this year is a very special year for us. We're getting kind of out of the box of what we typically do, and I know every year at Watches and Wonders we try and surprise people. Mm-hmm. And so we started with Kodo, which was a huge splash, and then the following year Tentograph, which was our first mechanical chronograph ever in Grand Seiko, and last year the birch bark manual wind with such a beautiful and charming movement with the little bird that pecks away. So this year we wanted to go with something that's going to make a really big splash, and we're introducing our latest interpretation of spring drive, as you'll see on the dial, known as U.F.A.
U.F.A.
So U.F.A. is standing for ultra-fine accuracy, and if you're familiar with Grand Seiko's history, you may think immediately when hearing it, U.F.A. sounds very similar to the V.F.A. of the past. And that was a Grand Seiko that was introduced in 1969, which was the pinnacle of accuracy back then, and plus or minus 1 minute per month. And so when we came up with this plan to introduce U.F.A., instead of very finely adjusted or very fine adjusted, we have ultra fine accuracy. So where V.F.A. was accurate within a minute per month, this is going to be accurate within 20 seconds per year.
Okay, and how does that compare to your standard spring drive, which is already a very accurate movement?
Yeah. So like this is the first and only self-winding watch that will achieve an annual accuracy rating. So instead of being measured by the day or month, as we're typically doing with spring drive, mm-hmm. Our 9R 6 and 8 series are rated within 15 seconds per month, mm-hmm. which
still incredible.
Yeah, it's it was as accurate as you could be for a self-winding or manual winding movement. And then in 2020 we introduced caliber 9RA, which attained 10 seconds per month. So only thing beating spring drive at that point was another spring drive, and true today as well with our U.F.A. So this is caliber 9RB2, which will have a 3-day power reserve, is our most compact in size. Mm-hmm. So cased, it's going to be 37 millimeters in width and 11.4 in height.
Yeah. When you first took this out, I assumed it was actually the case that you're wearing now because you had unveiled that last year.
Yeah.
Those are 38, 39 millimeters? Is that?
So yeah, 38 and change, so right in between.
I didn't expect to see a smaller version, and then it's for it to be automatic, and then for it to be this new ultra-fine accuracy spring drive. So this is like, there's a lot to take in here initially. Yeah. I'm actually curious, how did they achieve this accuracy?
Yes, so obviously spring drive is powered by a mainspring. Hence, it's driven by a mainspring, hence the name spring drive. So the sole power source remains the barrel. The barrel will then transfer the energy through the gear train to drive the hands, and we still have our kind of own interpretation of an escapement we call the trisynchro regulator, mm-hmm. Which utilizes the mechanical energy to generate a small electrical current, right, like a crank generator, mm-hmm. and then will in turn get the accuracy from a quartz oscillator because the oscillation rate is so high, it's insanely accurate, within typically 15 seconds per month. Then that information is basically used to create an electromagnetic brake mm-hmm. on the last wheel in the gear train to slow the speed, all without collision, friction, or anything deterring the second hand, so it can glide fluidly.
Beautiful glide, yeah.
Yep. So the difference in this to attain this annual rate of accuracy really derives in the quartz oscillator. So when we introduced the package IC in 2020 with the 9RA series, the package IC integrates a temperature compensating IC with our quartz oscillator. So on top of being insanely accurate, it's also compensating for temperature. Mm-hmm. And so the big breakthrough to step it up from that 10 second per month to 20 seconds per year really lied in the manufacturing and essentially packaging of this IC, so that we can attain a higher level of accuracy. So the way that we make the quartz oscillator is really what's refining it to alleviate the stress that you would typically find.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable. So spring drive went from about as accurate as a quartz watch, which is already far more accurate to mechanical, to almost as accurate as a high accuracy quartz watch. So that's fantastic. New case size, as we said, 37 millimeters, which is not far off from this guy. This is 37.3, I believe.
Yeah,
one of my favorite cases.
Exactly. So, even smaller, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, this is a beautifully wearing watch. It's also made out of titanium.
Yep, high intensity titanium, so very lightweight. Has a nice polish to it as well. Of course, that's a polished case with our Evolution 9 design.
And there's one more thing that you actually tested me to see if I could find another new feature. Yes. I know it is, but shall we tell the audience what this is?
Absolutely.
So we're gonna show you something that people have been asking for a long time. Yes, this Grand Seiko bracelet has a micro adjust. It's very cool. You kind of put the bracelet at like a right angle and kind of push it up, and then you can slide it out, and then at its max you can slide it in. What is this? 1, 2, 3. Three clicks.
Three steps in, 2 millimeters each, so 6 millimeter adjustment. 6
millimeters of adjustment. So I mean, that's a big one.
I think that many people will be very happy to see this. This is a new patented design, and unfortunately, this is going to be the only product that we'll see, for the foreseeable future with this particular clasp. It's not going to be widely available. We do have a limited production capacity for the clasp, so we'll introduce it here. We, of course, hope to expand it more down the road, but as of now, just the one product, but it's very exciting that we made the step in the right direction.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly exciting. So we have a new caliber, ultra fine accuracy, spring drive, in a new case, titanium, full titanium with the first micro adjust. So clearly this must cost an outrage. No. What is the price on this? Because that is another actually pretty surprising feature.
Yeah. So with the U.F.A, I think we were both very surprised to discover that it falls right in line with our Evolution 9 collection at 10,900 in high intensity titanium. So we will make a limited edition model as well in Platinum 950 that will be only 80 pieces worldwide. That'll be $39,000. Okay. But this is the kind of introductory piece, the halo piece, let's say. And then for continuous production, which was another thing that amazed me, is that we're introducing the U.F.A as a continuous production model. Yeah. Now, obviously, this movement is very advanced, and we'll probably have some limitation in capacity, of course, as well. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're very excited to have it continuously in the collection, and featuring this new dial pattern as well. We call Ice Forest.
Yeah, beautiful dial pattern. We didn't even get there. There's so many features on this watch. Joe, thank you so much. There will be an article about this, much more detailed, on the website now, but this is an incredibly exciting release, I think, for anyone, let alone us Grand Seiko fans.
I'm so happy to hear that, and we're always happy to excite, but I think we'll keep exciting people moving forward. So
I hope so. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more great content from Watches and Wonders, as well as Worn Around in general, and we'll see you soon.